tool which has as objective disable the sudo timer on AlmaLinux VM. So we're going to move straight to the first thing to do, which is to log in into our virtual machine. Let me make this large. Okay, we're going to log in into our AlmaLinux virtual machine. Okay, we're going to so as I've logged in into our AlmaLinux virtual machine, which is the same as the virtual machine we use for lab 1. So we are still at our main user owner user account. So we are going to enter the command to check the disk, to check the storage, to check the SSHD status, and see what we have. We are going to check the storage, fdisk /l, authentication always. Okay, we are going to check SSHD status. Okay, we are going to run the tables, sudo tables -L. Okay, so now still at this very user end, we are going to run some commands, some sudo commands. We're still going to run this disk storage. All of this is for us to see the difference with the timestamp, or runs a few couple commands without the timestamp being adjusted and the timestamp. So take note of how this command, the sudo k command, is going to reset the timer. So we'll have to enter the password anytime we want to run a sudo command. Because you notice that we'll run the first sudo command. When we run a pair of sudo commands, we'll run the first sudo command, we're prompted to input our password, and the rest of the commands that we input are not do not require authentication because we're already authenticated. But now when we type sudo k, we notice that any command that we type, sudo fdisk /l, we are going to be asked for authentication. Sudo vsudo. Okay, so we open the sudo vsudo, and in our AlmaLinux, in the default specification section of the file, we are going to add the following line. The default specification. First input our I to be able to edit. Default specification, I think it should be here at the top. Okay, we have it here. Default specification. We are going to add this line. We are going to use default tap timestamp default timestamp underscore timeout tap is equals to tap 0. Now we are going to save the file. We already know that in vsudo is escape column wcure. Okay, and now we are going to perform the commands that we performed earlier. Series of sudo commands: sudo fdisk -l. We require authentication. We tap the next command, which is sudo system control status sshd. We are still require a password, but first, when we just ran these commands at first, when we authenticated once, it was okay. But now, with a series of commands, every command that we type in, we are asked for authentication. You can see that. So we are going to tidy up our terminal for more visibility. Excuse me. So it's been seen. So now we are going to open our vsudo file and modify that default specification line so that you apply to a specific user. So we are going to sudo vsudo okay, our default specification line. I think this is it. Yes. Now we are going to default or press I on our keyboard to be able to edit. We are going to default for Lionel. Yeah, tap timestamp timeout is equals to 0. Okay. Now we are going to save. Okay. We have saved. So what we are going to do is that we are going to still type in those commands to see fdisk, the series of commands we did type. We see we don't require any password again. System-ctr status sshd. We are not required any password again. We can type the number of sudo commands we want to type because we already authenticated. Now let's clear this and see. Excuse me a minute. Okay, so let's watch the modifications that we did. Let's verify if the modifications that we did are good. So we are going to log in as Lionel. Okay, now we are going to authenticate. They're asking for us to authenticate. It's been done. So now we are going to perform the same series of sudo commands that we earlier performed on Lionel. Here we see that we are asked, oh sorry, I missed the command. It's fdisk. we are going to see that anytime we type in a command sudo system-ctl status sshd, we are going to be required a password. So we have reset the timestamp for Lionel. We have resetted the timestamp just like we resetted the timestamp for our normal account. This can be done with any other user. All you need to do is just that you need to go to the vsudo file, you add the default number of defaults for each user, or you decide to play around with it. So it depends on you. So we're going to try to view our own sudo privileges, and for doing that we have to exit and go back to our original account. And to view sudo privileges of a given user or a given account, you use the command sudo -l. We have to put our password, and those are the commands. For the user bar may run the following command: all commands on all machines. So with that, we can move to lab 3 and attest that we are done with lab 2. Lab 2